Quick question. Does Proverbs 3:5 really support the claim that we should just believe and not use our minds when it says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding"? A young and inexperienced sailor heads out to sea for the first time, and within hours the ship is engulfed in a storm. The winds howl and large waves crash over the deck. Should he lean upon his own understanding or trust in what the older and more experienced sailors on board are telling him? Suppose an old sea captain composes a book of Proverbs about life at sea, and he wrote it to impart his seafaring wisdom to the younger generations of sailors. Well, the book of Proverbs in the Old Testament's sort of like that. It's mainly directed at young people, and it's written from the perspective of a wise father urging his young and experienced son to heed his godly wisdom and advice. The father, in the first verse of chapter 3, says, "My son, do not forget my teachings, but keep my commands in your heart." And then a few verses later in verse 7, he warns his son about being wise in his own eyes. In other words, like any parent of a teenager throughout history, he was basically saying, "Now I know that you think that you know everything, but you don't." So given the context of this passage and Proverbs as a whole, Proverbs 3:5 clearly is not saying that we should just believe, we should just trust God and put our brains on the shelf. Rather, it's simply cautioning us, especially if we're young and inexperienced, about the limits of our own understanding. Like, share, and dare to be wise.